This is English shorthand dictation number 156 and the dictation speed is 140 words per minute. Ready? Start. My heart swells with pride as I join today to be a part of this concluding ceremony to mark the completion of this ceremonial event. Often, while tracing the history of a nation's journey, we come across watershed moments which alter the course of the flow of events. Mahatma Gandhi's celebrated Dandi March marks one such defining milestone, which stands out as an iconic example of his non-violent call for civil disobedience against British rule. As we celebrate our achievements and prepare for the challenges in our development journey, the message of iconic leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and Sardar Patel provides us the inspiration to work together to build an India we all are dreaming of. It is an India which our freedom fighters and constitution makers had dreamed of. It is an India which has been built by successive governments. It is a healthy, literate, educated, self-reliant India. It is an India that celebrates its rich, diverse cultural heritage. It is an India that is strong but non-violent. It is an India that shares its prosperity with other nations. It is a nation that cherishes constitutional values and nurtures its democratic roots. Embedded in our constitutional values is a deep commitment to the development and welfare of our people. Gaining freedom from foreign rule was a great movement in our history. It is even more remarkable that we could achieve it with non-violent means. The Dandi March we are symbolically revisiting today signifies our nation's ability to stay united when we are faced with challenges. It is that ability to walk together on the path of development that has yielded so many positive outcomes. We must continue on this path, taking one confident step after another, one competent measure after another, and one collaborative action after another. This should be the guiding force as we intensify our efforts or the churning that produces the elixir and ensure that the drops from this elixir reach everyone in our country. The coronavirus pandemic proved to be a test of our resilience, a spirit of enterprise and innovation. From manufacturing PPE kits to surgical gloves, masks and sanitizers to ventilators and vaccines, our researchers, scientists, entrepreneurs and industrialists shaped Prime Minister's vision of an Atmanirbhar Bharat into reality. It is with this spirit that we must move forward. India, while conducting the largest vaccination drive in the world, is also supplying vaccines to a number of countries across the world. That is the vision we have to translate into reality, into a sacred mission through hard work and dedication. Sisters and brothers, from being shunted and limited to the margins of the economy, women everywhere are finding their rightful place today at the center stage of our socio-economic life in workplaces, politics and education. The inherent benefits of having substantial female representation in industry are becoming increasingly evident to businesses too, as they reach out to harness women's unexplored potential in our economy. Companies today have a deeper insight into the long-term benefits of an inclusive work culture. We must identify the issues that are stopping our women in realizing their full potential as growth leaders and powering our economy forward. We will be able to empower women only by deconstructing what is hindering them at our workplaces. We can gain a better understanding by studying this problem from the prism of representation, remuneration and roles. Speaking of representation, we often gloss over the fact that we have an important demographic dividend we can unlock. Our female labor force participation rate is around 20% and has not kept pace with our accelerating economy over the years. The pandemic has further deepened employment inequalities between genders. We need to work on this. I call upon the industry to draw the best out of this huge talent pool. Women-led industrial workforce can drive growth at a rapid rapid pace. It is therefore important that we unlock our gender dividend. Remuneration remains a pertinent issue for women in the workplace. Equal pay for equal work continues to be a basic demand that is still unfulfilled even in the most developed countries and in the highest strata of the corporate world. The World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap Report 2020 refers to a pay disparity of around 15% even in advanced economies and points out that no country has achieved gender parity in wages yet. India needs to lead the way in this regard. Thirdly, we need to correct the issue of roles played by women at work if we want them to be our growth leaders. It is well known that women are underrepresented in the formal sector compared to the informal sector. Even in the formal sector, the issue of breaking barriers does not stop at the lowest rungs. The glass ceiling stretches to the very top. Women chief executive officers and board members are few and far between. Even in the Fortune 500 companies, there are just about 35 women chief executive officers. It is heartening to see many successful women entrepreneurs and professionals in this forum, which in itself is an important marker of women's empowerment. India has also shown the way to the developed world by bringing in the Maternity Benefits Act in 2017. Significantly, this progressive legislation increased paid maternity leave from 12 weeks to 26 weeks and has helped mitigate the gender pay gap that is found in working women who go through motherhood and child care. Another key point worth mentioning is that women today, more than ever before, have gone against the grain of male-dominated societies and cultures. Year after year, confident, courageous, intelligent, and heroic women from all over the country make a mark with their accomplishments in diverse fields. I often point out that in any convocation ceremony I attend, I find more girl medalists than boys. This is indeed a welcome trend. As per a report on Women in Business 2021, India ranks third in the world for women working in senior management positions. The same report states that the percentage of women in senior management for India stood at 39% against the global average of 31%, which signals the changing outlook of Indian businesses towards working women. All these are positive tidings for Indian economy in the years to come. Going forward, we must adopt a holistic and comprehensive strategy to enable women to become our growth leaders. Firstly, we must educate our girl children on parity with our boys. Girls in school are performing better than boys, but there is a gap in their enrollment in higher education. The pandemic has also had a disproportionate impact on girl child's education. We need to correct these disparities in a mission mode. Secondly, we must enlighten our girls and women on what rightfully is due to them from their family, community, and the government. They should have the confidence to demand all the entitlements and an equal stake in our society. Lastly, both the above steps will help in empowering women. We need to empower them politically, economically, and socially. Politically, we need to introduce adequate reservations for women in state legislatures and the parliament. Economically, we have to enable women to start businesses and cooperatives through schemes like Stand Up India. Socially, we need to ensure that women do not face any kind of harassment or discrimination, and stringent action should be taken against those committing atrocities against women. Educate, enlighten, and empower. This should be the mantra for us to let women lead our country to its rightful place. Fighting the COVID pandemic is not just about waiting for the curve of this wave to get flattened. It is about inculcating the behaviors of new normal, to invest in health infrastructure, to practice healthy habits, and be ever prepared and ever vigilant to combat any major health crisis. Today, in the midst of a massive outbreak, all the resources of the country and beyond are being aggregated. I am pleased to see that the industry has once again risen to the occasion. There have been instances where industries have provided free oxygen to hospitals. The government of India has opened up vaccination. Companies should utilize utilize this opportunity to organize vaccination for their employees and their families and ensure no one is left behind.